TymeBank believes in a banking future with more for every entrepreneur. Start paying less and getting more. With TymeBank, you've got this.
Welcome to another episode of Small Business E-volution. I am your host, Nontobeko Gumede. In today's episode, we are looking at e-commerce in the education sector. In particular, how SMEs can take advantage of the opportunities digital transformation brings to the education sector. I am joined by the co-owner of Spongein, Tsepo Sehona. Tsepo, thank you so much for joining us. Can you just share how digital transformation has impacted and basically shifted the educational sector?
Yeah, I think digital transformation has impacted the educational sector in a very significant way. Growing up, I used to struggle a lot with learning, where I used to struggle to grasp certain topics and information in the classroom. So I think predominantly it was because I had a different learning style from my peers, and I think with digital transformation it allows for students like myself to access information and resources that can aid them in terms of understanding their learning styles. With digital transformation, it has introduced tools and platforms where learners and teachers can bring learning to reality, and I'm referring to the likes of virtual reality or augmented reality, where you can recreate a certain topic or subject. If you are a teacher in life science, you can blow out the heart, and if you're teaching learners about the arteries of the heart and whatnot, you can blow it out and go into detail, which helps learners recall information.
And it's fun, creative videos.
It's fun and creative in a way. So I think digital transformation has really moved education forward, and it's helped to level the playing field for a lot of learners who might have learning challenges or different learning styles. So I think, it's really impacted it in a very positive way, depending on how you view things, but I think it's quite a positive impact in education.
Tsepo, can you just talk to us about your business model? Yeah. How are you making money right now as Spongein?
So Spongein it's fairly new. So for the longest time, we've been in the content development stage of the business, and my business partner likes to compare to building a stadium, where it takes a long time to build a stadium, and it takes a lot of resources, a lot of investment, a lot of money to actually get the stadium to a point where you can actually play a game in the environment. So it took us about 3 years to get the business to where it is, where we were shooting content, we were working with various stakeholders to create the quality and engaging lessons that we wanted to create. So from there we created a subscription-based platform where learners can easily download the app, they subscribe, and then once they've subscribed, they get access to all the material for grade 8 to 12. So we don't believe that learning should be linear in terms of you are in grade 8, you're going to learn whatever topic for grade 8. A lot of learners are advanced and curious. So if you want to expand your knowledge, or if you're in grade 10 and you've picked a certain subject and you still want to learn about arts and culture, but you're more in the science space, the platform allows you to consume as much or sponge in as much information as possible. So it's a subscription-based platform where you subscribe and then you pay on a monthly basis to get access to all this content for a small amount of money. I think, well, it's relative, I suppose.
Tsepo, as an entrepreneur yourself, that has a business that is completely operating digitally, is it easy for you to attract global investors into the company?
Yeah, so we've gotten a lot of interest from people abroad wanting to invest, but currently we're not there yet. So we want to build the business up to a point where it's actually valued at a certain amount. Before we introduce more investors, we did have an investor come in at the very early stage of our business, where we were struggling to raise funds. Myself and my business partner were funding the business from our own pockets.
What caused that challenge in cash flow and being able to raise funds?
I think because the business started during like the height of COVID-19, we had some savings from our other businesses, so we had to kind of shift funds to support this business, and it got to a point where we realized that we actually drowning the other business, and we needed to now look for investment elsewhere in order to sustain and keep Spongein running. So that's where we looked at various people that could, from a monetary point of view, put in money, and value point of view. We don't believe that just money is enough. You know, you need to add value in terms of our vision. How do you enlighten us in terms of this is where you need to be? How do you help us in terms of navigating certain things and getting us there quicker? So I think in the early stage of the business, not too early, I think around a year and a half into the business, we had to look for investment in terms of growing the business, and then since then we've maintained it quite well. Hence I'm saying we're not looking at further investment. We want to grow the business to a point where it's valued at a certain amount. That's when we'll start having those conversations again.
And that's actually very interesting, because one would assume that with the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, you know, your business would accelerate fast, but here you are saying it was actually a different approach towards that. So how has that experience shaped your view thinking as an entrepreneur, especially for your goals in the future?
I think you have to be quite agile as an entrepreneur. You have to adopt a mindset of wanting to always learn. So that's how we've kind of navigated, and that's the learnings we've gotten from COVID-19. I think it was quite risky of us to actually say, you know what, we're going to start a new business during the height of COVID-19.
The right risk.
Yeah.
Depends on how you look at it.
Yeah. No, it depends on how you look at it. You know, business is a risk. So we took that upon ourselves to say that this is something that the country actually needs, because we saw a huge disparity in terms of created by your social class in the country, you know, depending on where you fall, where a lot of learners were getting left behind. And we took it upon ourselves to say that how do we as people in business help to level that playing field out and give as many people the opportunity to learn and get access to private school level education. So that's how we kind of built that business and model, which took a bit of time, but I think I definitely know it's worth it, you know.
Well, the best things do take a little bit of time,
of course.
Tsepo, and thank you so much for joining us, and really wishing you all the best for the future.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
That was the co-founder of Spongein, Tsepo Sehona, offering us insights on how digital transformation has impacted the education sector.
Time Bank believes in a banking future with more for every entrepreneur. Start paying less and getting more. With Time Bank, you've got this.